everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nthabi if you're not familiar with me, and welcome to my little corner on the internet. Thank you so much for joining in on the fun. For new subscribers, thank you so much for joining in. It's fun over here. Come on, tell your friends to come join in. And to my regular subscribers, thank you so much for your continuous love and support and engaging with this content. I really do appreciate every single one of you. Anyway, so the order of today is what's new on my bookshelf, or books that I haven't read that are recent purchases. And by recent I may mean like from 3 to 6 months recent, because I don't buy books that often, and sometimes when I do I go a little bit ham, which is why I have currently 5 new books. I think there could be more that I missed, but for now we're working with around 5 books that I've bought that are recently new. Haven't read them. Actually started reading one of them. Like, you know, I told you previously that I read multiple books at the same time, but right now I'm trying to finish this one book because I am thoroughly enjoying it, and I'm going to start with it. So if you're interested in knowing what these 5 books are or what's new on my bookshelf, please stay tuned. Great, you stuck around. It means you want to know what I'm actually reading or what I'm going to be reading in future. And hopefully once I'm done reading these books, you can expect reviews, of course, because it's a thing we do now. You know what I mean? But anyway, what I'm currently reading is The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. It's an old book. It's not new. It's like around 5-6 years old. It's actually Shonda Rhimes's it's her biography. She wrote it herself. Loving it so far. As you can see, I'm like almost halfway, still in the beginning. Absolutely enjoy this book, especially with how she writes. She's humorous, she's quirky, dramatic much sometimes, but it's really an easy, beautiful read. I'm loving it, although there are some like ideals where I'm just like, girl, really? But overall the experience is amazing. I love it. I love biographies because they're like that little twinkle of hope that you get, like if so and so made it. Like, it doesn't matter if they're famous for being entertainers or famous for being humanitarians or whatever that they're most well known for, but because we share like being human as a relative point, they serve as like an encouragement for me to say that even though our journeys are far from being anything alike, but there is hope at the end of the tunnel. Or even if like not hope at the end of the tunnel, but there is hope of living a beautiful full life. And I mean, obviously different people's journeys, like just generally I find them interesting. I love them. I love reading about people's journeys, man. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything dramatic, but just reading about people and knowing and getting to know people a little bit more, like especially people that don't share the same thought process as I do, or don't share the same ideals or values that I do. It's always interesting to find out. Obviously, yes, I'm not one to say just because you have a different opinion to mine, I'm not going to give you the time of day, or I'm not going to listen to what you have to say, or that what you have to say is not valuable or whatever. But like, it teaches you to also see where you could be wrong, or where there could be room for improvement in your thinking, or there could be room for innovative thinking or more critical thinking. Number of reasons, but I absolutely enjoy this book. Apart from loving Shonda's writing in television, I absolutely love this. It is amazing. Like, if you're one for biographies and if you enjoy quirky, amazing writing, get yourself this book if you haven't read it already. I don't feel like anybody's ever late to the party. I mean, I'm only picking it up, what, 5-6 years later? So yeah. And then next, I got this one in December. Actually, this one was a gift. This was for my 26th birthday from a friend of mine, Bella. Only got it like when was it? This year. Because I mean, by the time she got it for me, COVID hit last year, so I'm only getting to read it now, and that's okay. You're never too late for books. Come on. Anyway, then the next one is this one, Vagabond, Wandering Through Africa on Faith. It's written by Lerato Mokwatle. As a lover of travel, as a lover of Africa, as an African, as a South African, please get yourself this book. Please do that for yourself. It's written, it's like a biography of sorts, but it's not a biography. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's basically her story, Lerato's story, of how she was a vagabond for like a number of years, traveling from country to country, exploring Africa. She's also South African. So just to give you an overview, I've read it also, like I've started the book, but then I said, nope, I'm not going to start you because you are a superstar, my girl. So I'm going to read this book as soon as I'm done with Year of Yes, and I'm going to read it alone. That is why I don't want to continue, because it's also amazing. She is a wonderful writer. I absolutely enjoy her writing, and then I'm just going to read a bit on the back to just give you an overview of what the book is about. I'm around 8 or 9 years old when our Saturday school teacher shows up with an armful of posters for a lesson that plants a seed that has grown into my life as a vagabond. I still remember it more than 20 years later, as flashes of a picture of King Tutankhamun's gold death mask, lesson sheets with hieroglyphics on them, and a poster of the Great Pyramid. One memory is very vivid. I stayed behind over lunch break and stared at a poster of the Sphinx, transfixed by the face of a human on the body of a lion. This is the first time I discover that the world is bigger than what's around my corner, and it's older than I can fully understand. I vow to know this world. If this isn't me, I don't know. I didn't learn about travel the way she did, but trust me, once that bug bit, it's been tickets for me. Anyway, one of the things Lerato Mokwatle has always known with certainty is that whatever else Africa is, it is first and foremost a home. It is this belief that sees her leave South Africa with a plan to visit West Africa for 3 months, only to return 5 years later. How cool is that? Vagabond is Mokwatle's hilarious and honest account of her 5 years living as a drifter in Africa. Listen. Already within the first 15 pages, I already grasped. Listen, okay? Watch out for my review after I read it. But anyway, in between the borders, foreign architecture, and interesting new ways of life, she found passion, love, laughter, and heartbreak. You'll be mortified at and proud of how she navigates herself out of difficult situations, like being misread by a man who tries to force himself on her. You will be regaled by the tales of how she gets herself out of trouble when she gives in to her mischievous streak, and how her street smarts save the day when unpaid invoices leave her broke. On these pages, you will find capsules of time spent in 21 countries in 5 regions of Africa. This is a travel memoir. Yes, that's what it is. It's a travel memoir punctuated by a deep urge to know the continent intimately. Lerato Mokwatle is a content strategist, writer, editor at Global Citizen Africa, and professional traveler. She curates johariafrica.net. Sorry for that. But yeah, like, it's a travel memoir, and I absolutely, if you are a travel fanatic, if you're a lover of the continent, if you just love travel and just support Black women in general, please buy this book. you will enjoy it, you will love it. Even if you're not one for travel or whatever, you'll just enjoy the book because it's a memoir of anything. It's like an adventure that like she takes you on, and I absolutely enjoy it. And like the more I read it before I put it down, like of the 15 pages that I read, I was just like, why am I getting an inkling now that I want to do this, that I want to be a vagabond, that I just want to pack up my stuff, whatever little stuff I have, and just explore this continent. Obviously now, like with human trafficking and all of that stuff going on in the world, and me being female, it's a bit I have second thoughts about it, but listen, the dream is there. Whether I do it in Africa or elsewhere, don't say I didn't tell you. Who knows, sooner or later, in years to come, a year, 2 years from now, you'll be seeing me backpacking through different destinations in the world, whether it's in my home continent or other continents. I don't know. Anyway, so the third one I got as a gift to myself for my birthday, because you know, you gotta love on yourself and stuff. And I mean, it is what it is. It's A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. I haven't started reading this book, but I've heard great reviews about it. I've heard great raving. People have been raving about this book for as long as it's been out. I mean, and it's an old book. A Return to Love is an old book. And you know what? I'm going to, before I even say anything further, I'm going to suggest you buy this for yourself. It has like really, really good teachings. And it's just a why not kind of book. Like, for your own sake, please buy it. It says it's a reflection of the principles and course in miracles. I've watched plenty an interview of Marianne Williamson on the Oprah show and like other platforms, and she's an amazing lady. Also, she's the one behind that poem or speech that I used to love reciting, that I thought it was actually former President Nelson Mandela, but he actually used an excerpt from her speech or poem, whatever she calls it, that we are not, yeah, what is it, something about we are powerful beyond measure. It's not, you know what I'm talking about. I just can't remember it word for word. But let me read to give you like sort of an insight as to what this book is about, if you are not familiar with it, if you have never heard of it, never seen it, but quite interested in what it's about. Okay. In A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson shares her insights into how the practical application of love every day can provide an answer to the problems that confront us, whether these are in our relationships, our careers, or our health. This recently updated best-selling guide reveals how we each can take a spiritual, psychological, and emotional journey back to the true inner peace with which we were born, and shows how by practicing love we can make our lives more peaceful, loving, and fulfilling. I mean, who doesn't want to live a peaceful and fulfilling life that is filled with lots of love? Get yourself this book. Anyway, Marianne lectures internationally in the fields of spirituality and metaphysics. A Return to Love offers readers the chance to experience the uplifting and empowering teachings that characterize her personal appearances. Yeah, so this is what basically the book is about. As you can see, it's still fresh, no broken seals or anything, so which means I haven't read it yet, but I am excited to read it after the plethora of other books that I have. And then second to last, I'm so excited for this book, but I'm not gonna read it until I read these others. Maybe I might bump it up, like I might read it before reading A Return to Love. I'm just not sure. But also, with all of these books, watch out for my reviews coming up after I'm done with them. And please they can take a while, hey? Because these days I take a while reading books. And the number 4th position, I got this one also around last year, December, November, if I'm being honest with myself. And this is Relationship Goals by Michael Todd. My Shanyo pasta. I love this man so much. Like, he gives me so much life. He validates my existence in my quirkiness and my just over the topness. Like, his crazy infectiousness just gives me life. But anyway, this book is actually based off of his sermon series titled Relationship Goals, or rather Relationship Goals Reloaded, that you can find on the Transformation Church YouTube channel. Man, that sermon series was a game changer, life changer in terms of dating, in terms of relationships. And I love the fact that in as much as you would think that it's just about like romantic relationships, no, it's not just about that, because he tackles other aspects that like really transcend into each and every relationship of your life. Although it does say how to win at dating, marriage, and sex. It's not just about romantic relationships though. I will say that again as a disclaimer. So basically, let me just read to give you basically insight on what it is essentially about, other than you knowing that it's about the sermon series. It was inspired by the sermon series Relationship Goals. You scroll through photo after photo, happy couples, and think, I want a relationship like that. The thing is, those intimate relationships are a mirage. The closer you get to them, the more you realize they aren't real at all. So what does a real relationship look like? And how do you get there? Learn how to win in relationships. In Relationship Goals, Pastor Mike Todd digs deep to give you good news and real life ideas for making the most of your most important relationships. Take a look at what it means to choose intentional dating over recreational dating, how to move on from mistakes you've made in the past, why love gets stronger after marriage, what the Bible has to say about sex. Hot take, it's more sizzling than you think. Cues in Songs of Solomon. Why the best friendships have God at the center. See what I mean? It's not just about romantic relationships, so get the book. Anyway, whether you're married, single, or it's complicated, aiming for the right targets will make all the difference in finding true satisfaction. As it turns out, God's got the best relationship goals of all for your life. Why settle for less? I ask you, why settle for less? And this is not some, like, I think also it's important to put that disclaimer that it's not just for people that are seeking to get married or seeking for companionship. This is also if you're happy in your singleness. Like, because some people are just happy in their singleness and it's okay. Like, they're not waiting around for some partner or some knight in shining armor, or like they're not single and waiting. It's just enjoying their singleness. So this is also a nice book for that. But I think in general for relationships it's good, especially if you want to have meaningful relationships and you want to do your part in maintaining those meaningful relationships in your life. This is a very good investment. Well, obviously if you're Christian. But I mean, you could not be Christian and still find like gems that you could apply to your life. So hey, I'm not closing you out. Anyway, the last book that I got, which I actually got today for 50 rand. 50 rand. Okay, so there's a sale at CNA currently happening. So just for reference, today is the 19th of May, and there's a sale that's happening at CNA for like 50 rand books. Basically, they're selling a lot of titles for 50 rand, and this one is the one that really jumped out at me, and I was just like, I'm gonna get this one and I'm gonna read it. Also because in my quest of developing my company and building it as a startup, sooner or later, even though it's currently a one-woman show, sooner or later I will need to hire people and collaborate with people. And since it's my vision that I'm bringing forward, I'm going to have to lead those people into the vision that I have for my baby. Anyway, so this is the book that I got. It is Dare to Lead by Dr. Brené Brown. And it says, brave work, tough conversation, whole hearts, daring greatly and rising strong at work. And I'm just gonna read at the back it doesn't really say. Okay, yeah, so basically this is what the book is about. Dare to lead. How do you cultivate braver, more daring leaders, and how do you embed the value of courage in your culture? This is talking about your company culture. 4-time #1 New York Times best-selling author Dr. Brené Brown presents a powerful guide to leadership for anyone who wants to step up, be brave, and lead. The culmination of a 7-year study looking at the future of leadership, Brown reveals the actionable and game-changing finding that courage is a collection of 4 skill sets that can be taught, observed, and measured. In the no BS style that millions of readers have come to expect, Brown shares everything she has learned about daring leadership in a culture defined by scarcity, fear, and uncertainty. Whether you've read Daring Greatly and Rising Strong, or you're new to Brown's work, Dare to Lead is for anyone who wants to show up and be brave at work. And that's exactly me. Truthfully speaking, this has been like one of the scariest times in my life where I've had to decide, do I jump or do I not? Because there's never a perfect time to jump, especially in terms of entrepreneurship or anything. Like my first ever video on YouTube, do it, just do it scared, do it nervous. So this is what basically I'm doing. I'm daring to lead in future, because currently I'd just be leading myself in this little baby and making it a reality. So that's what we're doing. That's why I bought this book, and to be honest, I'm going to be reading it in between all of these books, because I don't see myself reading it. It's not one of those books that you just read from cover to cover and put down, because I feel like you'd also have to like come back every now and again to just, you know, get a gem or two, or like refresher, like for a refresher or things like that. But otherwise, this is my 5th book that I got that is new to my bookshelf, and I trust that I'm going to enjoy all of these books. Anyway, so if you're interested in any of the books that I mentioned, I will have them listed down in the description box. Do check them out, and I'll also put in links to where you can find them in the different websites if you're like me and you like comparing prices. Because books are expensive, they're not cheap. And do tell me if you do end up getting 1 or 2 of the books, and tell me how you like it. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, so that more people can be exposed to these videos and see and click and subscribe and like and enjoy the content that I'm bringing forth. If you know anyone that loves these kind of videos and would greatly gain a lot and would enjoy this kind of content, please make sure that you share it with them. Otherwise, as I said, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.